So 2 gay men in Pennsylvania posted a video celebrating the birth of their surrogate baby, and it went viral when viewers discovered that one of the men is a registered child sex offender. This man in 2016, the one, I was going to say with the chubby cheeks, but they both have chubby cheeks. The one with the beard was arrested for trying to solicit sex from a 16-year-old boy, one of his own students at the high school where he taught chemistry. He sent the boy thousands of texts, solicited the boy to send him nude photos. He also wanted the victim to watch him pleasure himself, sent the victim 20 or more nude photographs of himself. This went on for over a year. Police also recovered hundreds of other sexually explicit videos on the laptop, and he pled guilty to felony child pornography possession and 1 count of corruption of a minor. He was sentenced to up to 23 months of incarceration, but court records show that he was granted parole. Part of his conditions included that he had no unsupervised contact with minors and that he surrender his teaching license. So I ask you, how did this guy get a baby? Well, it was through a surrogate, not an adoption agency. An adoption agency, you would hope, would have caught this. But surrogacy doesn't have the same safety checks in place. A surrogate is when you pay a woman to rent her womb. She will carry the child for you, and then you get full parental rights when the baby is born. Presumably, although we don't know which, one of the dads donated the sperm to create the baby, but it's not clear which. But it doesn't matter in the state of Pennsylvania, because once the woman hits her 3rd trimester, you register that child that's in the womb like you register a couch. That one's mine. And so those 2 men had full parental rights by the time that baby was in your utero 3rd trimester. But just like how any sex offender can father a child biologically and get someone pregnant, right? The same is true for surrogacy. How do you prevent that? Even if you don't go through the official surrogate channels, you could always just hire your friend and say, I want a baby. Let's do this. How do you stop this? And now that baby has this dad. Now, Pennsylvania Senator Doug Mastriano responded saying that the couple acquired the child through what appears to be a loophole in the legal system. He says here lawmakers are working to ensure that every authority is doing its part to protect the child and uncover exactly how this could happen. What he doesn't say here, and what I think he is conspicuously avoiding, is whether the child is still in the custody of the sex offender. It seems to me that the way he wrote it is that the child is, because they can't take it. Ugh. Can they? Is there any way they can take this child given that they have full parental rights? I don't know, and it's not clear, and they're not saying, and I think they're not saying on purpose. Now, the couple crowdfunded the surrogacy through GoFundMe without disclosing to donors that one of them was legally prohibited from unsupervised contact with minors. And so this case exposes a massive gap in surrogacy oversight. It's not, again, like adoption. So how do you prevent this any more than you can prevent a sex offender from fathering a child biologically? So a surrogacy advocacy group told Redux that this is not the first case of a sex offender procuring a child from a surrogate. And we don't, what can they do? Now, Senator Mastriano said we're going to do something and close up that loophole. But I ask you, how can they possibly do that? He says he's drafting legislation. So let us know what you think. How can this? It raises really uncomfortable questions about surrogacy and parental rights.
And also the guy's partner obviously knows what he did and decided to still have a child with him. So that means maybe he's the same way. Like, that's a scary, that poor child.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I want to know how many other states have this same kind of loophole then, because, Pennsylvania allows this gestational it's hard for me to say.
Surrogacy.
Gestational surrogacy contract and this pre-birth parentage order, and there's no law prohibiting that. So how many other states allow this, have this same kind of loophole?
Well, I guess you're pointing out a good point that, if you're a surrogate this is tricky. So let's say, you and David are gay men and you have rented my womb, and then I'm in my 3rd trimester with a baby, and we go to the state and we say, we're going to register this baby as Clayton and David's baby, maybe at that point, the state can run a background check. The problem is that what if it's, let's use fictitious because I don't want to call you guys perverts. Let's say it's, Draco Malfoy is the pervert.
Yeah, because this show's making me uncomfortable all of a sudden.
I know, right? And so
I love you, Clayton.
And he is the biological donor now. You can't say, oh, I'm sorry, this baby that's going to be born in the next few weeks, you actually can't have it. The child exists. Where does the child go now, right?
Yeah, it's crazy to think about.
But CPS exists, though. Like, CPS exists, though. So, like, if somebody gets married, like, if they have kids from a previous marriage and they get married and they marry a sex offender, I mean, cannot CPS come in and say, we're taking the children out of here?
Yeah,
Isn't
good
that
point.
kind of one of the things they do?
Yeah, but who's going to call? Yeah, but it relies on.
Well, at least there'd be this process where you go to register the baby and they say, we need background checks before you take ownership of the baby that woman is carrying. Then that's possible. Sure. There we go. We just came up with one possibility. But again,
is background checks enough? I mean,
but then you have these babies. It's like they're in the assembly line already, and they don't go where they're intended. Does that put the onus on the surrogate mother? Like, oh, but actually, I don't want this child. It's just in me.
Because she was probably paid like $10,000.
Oh, it's way more than that now.
Is it?
That was like decades ago. It was 10.
Back when I was renting your room, it was like 10,000. Mm-hmm. Back when? No, I remember hearing those stories. Back then, it was like 10,000, right?
Long time ago.
Time ago?
I had a distant family member who did it for 10,000 30 years ago.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's where I heard the story.
Right.
Now it's what?
I would imagine it's upwards of 50.
Jeez.
But the couple crowdfunded for 50. They only made 2. What a dummy you were to have donated to those 2, right?
All right. So here are there's 16 jurisdictions that allow for this. California, Colorado,
of course,
Connecticut, Delaware,
all liberal states,
Idaho, Maine, very liberal, Maine, Massachusetts, liberal, Michigan, liberal, New Hampshire, liberal, New Jersey, Nevada, Vermont, Washington State, Washington, D.C. Allow for this pre-birth parentage order.
Yeah. I guess. So other states are going to have to take a look at this. Now, there's a case right now in front of the courts in the UK where 2 convicted pedophiles or child sex offenders, they were some kind of like known perverts. That was a gay couple that adopted and sexually abused the baby so much that it died. And the autopsy is the stuff of nightmares. It died within 2 months at the age of 1 with all kinds of proof of penetration and other horrors, stuff of nightmares. So in the UK, there has been a lapse of, because there's this idea that all gay people must be wise and brave. And so, you don't stop them from whatever they want in a liberal democracy that we've been living in. And so how long until we have to see that happen before they're real? I mean, obviously, you don't care about children. You care about, the optics of being a progressive person if you are here in a society. So how then do we absolutely protect children first before people's sensibilities and identities? I'm asking.